Hello, I'm Laura Yanchevsky. I was an animator for Toonstruck, and here I'm presenting the last of my work files that I have saved. I'll start out with the monitors. The monitors were rather dated to the era, but we weren't trying to be futuristic when we made Toonstruck, just cartoony. So here on the Gator Guards monitor, you can see the bus stop with 3 characters waiting. I have them named as Hunk, Babe, and Read, as in I'm reading a book. Unfortunately, I lost one file of Babe talking because it was corrupt. I know that the Hunk asks the Babe when the bus will come, and she replies, soon. Then, when she was doing her talking, he replies, nope. Here's the Toast infomercial. In the animation, the announcer just moves through each possible mouth shape to fit sounds, but the programmers would have used the frames out of sequence to be more in tune with the actual speech. Here, John Pempiano had the idea to make the pipe pop on the dad after his face pops up. This was definitely a rip-off idea of Ren and Stimpy. Just go over the monitors in the security guard chamber of Nefarious' castle once again, because I think I already showed it in a previous video, but I just took the long play, so here are my animation files. And kaboom goes the monitor. And this is how I animated it before I added the explosion on top. I'll just move along now to what everybody really wanted to see the most, the rest of the cutscenes. Here are the crossroads. Here's the mirror that drew faces. And here's the broken version of the mirror. I'm fairly certain they were in the tent areas of the crossroads. The Fear and Fantasy Carnival tents would have represented Drew's childhood memories. I think they had a counterpart in each area. The evil bedroom, as I animated here, also had a counterpart of a good bedroom with a harmless teddy bear and sweet little bunny slippers. Next is the evil dentist's office. I know I also made an animation for the door and the lever, but they're missing from my files. And here's something you haven't seen before. I know because I just put it together for you now. It's John Pempiano's drawing of the evil dentist character with the faces set onto the body of the dentist in 3 frames. Here, Drew would be a cartoon character sitting in the dentist's chair. And here is Vincent van Gogh's studio. There's a lot of this shown in the trailer. From that, you can deduce that he was absolutely obsessed with being able to hear again. Here are 4 stages of the ear he's painting, which would change each time you enter the studio, presumably after you make something happen outside of the studio. You have to first get the ear from one of Nefarious's PTP, or Pencil Test Patrol, or Nefarious's Hunchmen, as some people call him, and you're specifically trying to get Lugnut's ear, which you will give to Vincent van Gogh so he could hear you again. Now that you have given him something, he'll give you something in return, like a painting of Nefarious. But first you need to bring him the head from Nefarious' statue so he could reference it for a painting. And last but not least, here's Drew putting the fly suit into the spider web in the attic, also one of those places which would be part of his childhood nightmares. And that's all there is. But I will clear up some of the mistakes I made in previous videos, as was pointed out to me in the comments section. First, there was the pepper from the meadow of the evil squirrel. I said that I thought it was for part 2, but Josh on the net pointed out to me that it was actually the counterpart for the salt of the cutifier. So it was part of the puzzles from the first part. I learned about some information on where the crossroads were, as well as other cutscenes. Someone named Malachite interviewed Rich Hare, who was our lead designer, and he asked, at the end of Toonstruck, there was a hint of a sequel, which unfortunately never had been made. What would Toonstruck 2 have looked like, and what would be the story? Rich Hare answers, actually, due to scheduling pressures, we were forced to cut the first game in half and reshoot the ending. There was a lot of material created, art, animation, audio, and code, for the first game that was never used. In the original story, once Drew escaped from Nefarious' castle, he and Flux were supposed to ride the Train of Thought. Remember the train tracks area in Xanadu? Up to an island in the sky. Here, Drew explores his own fears and fantasies within a carnival setting. There was a Wild West shootout, an encounter with Drew's artist idol, Van Gogh, and a visit to a maniacal dentist. Finally, Drew needs to kickstart his imagination, creativity, represented by a huge lighthouse, and defeat both Fluffy Fluffy, Bun Bun, and Nefarious in the process. So there was a question about Drew having to convince the Swamp Hen that he's a rooster. There's an instruction book someone posted on the Toonstruck 2 petition page. It shows the mating ritual of swamp chickens. The hen sees the rooster's comb, then there has to be some kind of an exchange, and then they dance, which explains the gramophone. Therefore, Drew has to put the glove on his head and exchange the glasses with her, and then he can dance like a chicken for her. And then from the Dark Town, there was a distant view of Nefarious' castle, which I was wrong on saying that it was the crossroads. Here is a picture of the castle in another screenshot, which many of you have probably seen. So that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed and listened to my commentaries, and hopefully we can put some more Toonstruck 2 stuff out here someday.